Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone, watching a video, maybe even ordering a pizza. Whatever you're doing, you're almost certainly using something created by a quiet, introverted student from Finland. His name is Linus Torvalds, and the story of how he accidentally changed the world is one of the most fascinating tales in modern history. So, who was this unlikely pioneer? Growing up in Helsinki, Linus wasn't the outgoing type. He was a self-described nerd, fascinated by the clean, predictable logic of mathematics and physics. His world changed when his grandfather brought home a Commodore VIC-20. For Linus, it was love at first sight. He spent countless hours typing in programs from magazines, learning the machine's language. But the real spark came later, at the University of Helsinki. He got his hands on a book about Unix, a powerful and elegant operating system. It was everything he dreamed of, but it was expensive and proprietary. Around the same time, he bought his first real PC, an Intel 386. The machine was powerful, but it came with MS-DOS, an operating system Linus found clunky and unsatisfying. He wanted the power of Unix on his own PC, so he decided to build a small piece of it himself just to see how it worked. This raises the central question of our story. How did an ordinary student, tinkering in his bedroom, end up creating the single most important piece of software in history? The answer is a lesson in passion, collaboration, and the power of giving something away for free. It all started as a hobby. Linus wasn't trying to start a revolution. He was just a curious student exploring the inner workings of his new 386 computer. He wanted to build a terminal emulator, a program that would let him connect to the university's large Unix servers from home. To do that, he needed to write code that talked directly to the computer's hardware. Bit by bit, piece by piece, this small project started to look less like a simple program and more like the beginnings of a real operating system kernel, the core that manages everything. In August 1991, he sent a now-famous message to a Usenet group. It was incredibly humble. He wrote, "I'm doing a free operating system, just a hobby, won't be big and professional like GNU, for 386 clones." He asked for feedback on what features people would like. He had no grand vision, no business plan. He was just a guy sharing his project with a few other enthusiasts. He didn't even have a name for it. He thought of calling it Frax, a combination of free, freak, and X. A colleague at the university who set up the server for him thought that name was terrible and, without asking, named the directory Linux. The name stuck. What happened next was magic. Programmers from all over the world saw his post. They were excited by the idea of a free, open Unix-like kernel they could modify and improve themselves. They started downloading his code, testing it, fixing bugs, and adding new features. A lone student's hobby had escaped the bedroom. It was no longer just his project. It had become a global collaboration, growing faster than anyone, especially Linus, could have ever imagined. This wasn't just code. It was the birth of a community, a movement that would soon power the entire digital world. As Linux exploded in popularity, the person at its center, Linus Torvalds, found himself in a new and challenging role, leader of a massive, global, all-volunteer army of programmers. And his leadership style quickly became as famous and infamous as the kernel itself. Linus was, and is, a technical genius. He has an incredible ability to see the big picture while also understanding the finest details of the code. But his communication style was direct, to put it mildly. In mailing lists and forums, Linus became known for his brutally honest, sometimes profanity-laced critiques of code he deemed subpar. For him, technical excellence was the only thing that mattered. There was no room for feelings when the quality of the project was at stake. This created a culture that was incredibly efficient. Bad ideas were shot down quickly, and only the best code survived. However, it also created conflict. Many talented developers were put off by the abrasive environment, feeling that the community was hostile and unwelcoming. This led to some famous disputes. For years, there were public arguments with other key figures in the open-source world, like Andrew Tannenbaum, the creator of Minix, who initially dismissed Linux as obsolete. The core of the tension was this: can a project that relies on thousands of volunteers from different cultures truly depend on the personality of one brilliant but blunt individual? Is it possible to maintain high technical standards without creating a toxic culture? This wasn't just a debate about code, it was a fundamental question about how humans organize themselves and collaborate on a global scale. The Linux community had to figure out how to balance the demands of a meritocracy with the need for a respectful and inclusive environment, a challenge it continues to navigate to this day. At the heart of Linus's philosophy is a simple, powerful idea. Talk is cheap. Show me the code. For him, what mattered wasn't your reputation, your academic credentials, or how well you argued your point in an email. What mattered was the quality of the work you produced. This principle of a pure technical meritocracy is the bedrock of Linux and the wider open source movement. It's an environment where the best ideas win, regardless of who they come from. It's about transparency. Every line of code, every decision, and every debate is public for the world to see and scrutinize. This belief in open collaboration also led to the most significant turning point in Linus' personal journey. After years of criticism about his harsh communication style, and after several high-profile incidents where his comments alienated developers, something shifted. In 2018, Linus did something almost unthinkable for a figure of his stature. He publicly apologized. He announced he was taking a temporary break from leading the Linux project to work on his own empathy and to better understand how to manage a community without resorting to personal attacks. He acknowledged that his flippant attacks in emails were unprofessional and hurtful. This was a profound moment. The man who built his reputation on being brutally honest was now honestly confronting his own flaws. This act didn't just change him, it sent a powerful message to the entire tech world. It demonstrated that even in a field obsessed with pure logic and efficiency, human decency matters. The ethics of open source, as shaped by Linus, evolved. It wasn't just about sharing code anymore. It was about building a sustainable, respectful way for humans to collaborate and build amazing things together. So what is the legacy of this reluctant icon? To put it simply, it's the modern world. If you use an Android phone, you're using Linux. The vast majority of the world's websites are hosted on servers running Linux. The world's top 500 supercomputers, all of them run Linux. From your smart TV and your car's infotainment system to the International Space Station, Linux is the invisible foundation of our technological society. And yet, the man behind it all never sought fame or fortune from his creation. He became a legend not by hoarding power, but by giving it away. By releasing his kernel under the GNU General Public License, he ensured that Linux would forever remain free and open for anyone to use, modify, and share. He created a system where he holds the ultimate authority, but his authority is earned every single day by making sound technical decisions that benefit the community. Linus Torvalds is a paradox, an introverted leader of a global movement, a figure of immense authority who champions decentralization, a man who became one of the most influential people in technology simply by sharing his hobby with the world. His story teaches us that true impact doesn't come from building walls around your ideas, but from building bridges that allow others to contribute. Linus didn't just write lines of code. He, along with thousands of collaborators, rewrote the rules of how we build technology, and in doing so, shaped the future for all of us. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the people and ideas that shape our world. See you in the next video.